Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to review the new Avengers Illuminati. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're going to be talking about the new Avengers Illuminati. This is a 5-issue miniseries that came out many years ago, but we're going to talk about the Illuminati and review this book because we have the tease basically of the Illuminati in the most recent Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness trailer. So if you want a primer on the Illuminati, this is the book to go get. Now, this doesn't have the first appearance of the Illuminati or the most significant issue of the Illuminati, which I believe is the Illuminati special that's labeled with the green tag, Road to Civil War. But it does have a few of their adventures, so to speak, that led up to Secret Invasion. So you have like the Illuminati intervening in multiple events across Marvel history, and writer Brian Michael Bendis and Brian Reed, both of them team up on this book with artwork by Jim Chung to deliver those events in basically like a single issue format. And you can kind of feel the tension build a little bit to the disintegration of the group towards the very end, but all in all, it is a fun book. So what is the Illuminati, and what is Marvel Universe teasing here? Well, the Illuminati was formed basically in secret as these characters here. You got Iron Man, Charles Xavier, Namor, Mr. Fantastic from Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, and Black Bolt. So these were the group, and then T'Challa actually formed them in the first place, I believe, in that prologue issue, but he also left very quickly after that. So he's not really considered a member of the Illuminati, so to speak, in regards to this series. Now, there is another group called the Illuminati later on, or not, they don't call themselves the Illuminati, but per se, but the Marvel Universe, in terms of publishing and stuff, refers to this group, this cabal, as it were, as the Illuminati. The secret society of the Marvel Universe is basically why they call it the Illuminati. But they do appear later on after this book, after Secret Invasion, that sort of stuff. They do appear in Hickman's Avengers run. And basically the entire book of New Avengers that he's writing at that time, almost 10 years ago, is the story of this group, this cabal, taking the power into their own hands. And he's actually exploring an idea that's kind of seeded in this book. So if you want to read that, go check it out for their further adventures. But Bendis introduced this group of the Illuminati. I believe it was in his New Avengers run. And I think Steve McNiven was drawing it, so it was that particular arc he was doing. I can't remember which one it was. But it was a secret meeting of all these different characters. And then it evolved into the Road to Civil War. And it turns out that this was the group that ejected Hulk from the planet Earth and made his, they were trying to send Hulk at the time to a planet that was peaceful so that he could live out his days and not endanger anybody. Of course, in Marvel Comics fashion, shit happened. The spacecraft went off course, and then he landed on Sakaar, and then you have the whole Planet Hulk storyline and then World War Hulk event that followed very soon after. So this takes place right before, or the final issue basically does right before Secret Invasion, and they're exploring these different aspects of the Illuminati and different events that they had. So the first issue is focused on the Cree Scroll War, which I've never actually read, but basically it happens after that storyline is resolved. The Illuminati get together and they go to the Skrulls and basically give them an ultimatum saying, if you ever come back to our Earth, we will destroy you, blah, blah, blah. And then the Skrulls later come back and they figure out, like, they kidnap basically the Illuminati and perform experiments on them. They're stretching Mr. Fantastic apart to see how far he can actually be stretched. They strip Iron Man of his armor and look at his armor at the time and go, this is very, like, basic. What are they doing here? Black Bolt, they're doing stuff with him, trying to see how loud he can get with his speaking stuff. So they basically, it's resolved by the end, but there's kind of a cliffhanger here with the Skrull King going like, this is not the end of our story. And then you have the final issue with the Skrulls coming back again, and that final issue, issue number 5, is the Illuminati meeting, discovering the body of, or Tony brought the body of Elektra Skrull to them, and it's talking about, you know, the secret invasion, how we're already at war and all that kind of stuff. And then there's more stuff going on in that issue, but builds into secret invasion from there. So this takes place post-Civil War, pre-secret invasion, so you're in that era of, yeah, that year basically. There was a year between Civil War, then you had the Initiative, and you had like a year of the Tony Stark run government, then you had Secret Invasion, and then you had Dark Reign, and then followed by Siege, and that was kind of the end of that era of Avengers and Bendis writing all the events and all that kind of stuff. But this is a whole lot of fun. There's a second issue, I think the second issue in here, number 2, is the one that Hickman, I think, really jumped off of and took this idea and ran with it, the idea of the Infinity Gems and the Illuminati gathering them for a purpose. So this one kind of has that idea of, you know, no one person should have an Infinity Gem, and so they split them up between them towards the end of the issue. And that is picked up upon in Hickman's New Avengers run, that each member of the Illuminati has an Infinity Gem that they're kind of safekeeping to keep everything separate. There's an issue here with the Beyonder where they kind of, Bendis and Reed kind of retcon him as an Inhuman mutant. So he was a mutant and an Inhuman, so when a mutant goes through the Terrigen Mists, he's, at least in the Beyonder's case, became the Beyonder with his all-powerful godlike powers. So they bring Black Bolt in to kind of check him and say, like, you know, hey, you got to stop what you're doing. And I guess after Secret Wars, the Beyonder disappears. Never actually read that story. Then there's this story with Marvel Boy, which is the Grant Morrison creation, and J.G. Jones did the art on that original series. We hadn't really seen Marvel Boy Novar in a long, long time. So they go here, I guess shortly after that series wraps up, and say, like, you could be better. They show him the images of Captain Marvel and kind of give him this idea that he could be the next Captain Marvel. And I think those seeds were picked up in Bendis' later run because he started using them, I believe, in Dark Avengers a little bit, and then maybe one of the Avengers volumes after that. So it's kind of this place for Bendis to seed all these different ideas for future storylines, future events, but it is a fun little book in terms of, if you're familiar with some of these events, it can be fun, but you can have the most fun reading this book. You can still read it on its own. I mean, I haven't read half the stuff they're referencing in here, you know, I know Secret War, Invasion, and all that kind of stuff, but not Marvel Boy. I have it. I haven't read it yet. But I know Cree Scroll War, but I haven't read that ever. So you can have fun reading it if you just know your basic Marvel history. But really, it's the interaction between all 5 characters that, you know, is the most fun to read. And it's the dialogue, basically, like in every Bendis book. Although you have to hand it for Jim Chung, to turn out some of the best work I've ever seen in his entire career. He's helped out by, who is doing the inks here? It does a phenomenal job. Mark Morales, John Dell, David Mekis are doing the inks on here, and they blend so well together. There was never a moment where I was looking at Jim Chung's artwork here and I could tell that there was a different inker on him or anything like that. Very, very consistent inking across those 3 guys. So I don't know who did who on what issue, if in terms of, you know, one person contributed more than the others, but that's who's credited in the beginning of the book. But it is a beautiful book to look at. And it's the same thing with every Jim Chung book. You know, you read Young Avengers, it's beautiful. You read this, it's beautiful. Why they haven't, you know, they did follow up on this a little bit with Hickman, but they haven't really, like, capitalized on it since. Maybe because some of these guys are out to pasture. Now, I don't know how the MCU is going to use this. It seemed to be they were teasing Professor X from the X-Men movies being in this group. And the whole thing about maybe we should tell him the truth in that Professor X-y voice was kind of a hint at the Illuminati. And if Doctor Strange is in the movie, maybe he's in the Illuminati. We know there are multiple versions of Doctor Strange in that film. As to whether there's Namor, we know he's been cast. He's the villain of Black Panther 2 that's coming out later on. Iron Man is obviously gone. Black Bolt was kind of a failure with that TV show, so I don't know if he'll be in the Illuminati per se. But there's certainly a possibility you could get Mr. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic in that film. Maybe an alternate version is kind of what people are speculating, but it's not been confirmed. And I'm not looking for spoilers that are leaked on Reddit or the internet anywhere else. I want to enjoy whatever's given to me by the studio, like, as the teaser. So if they release too much in the trailer, I'll criticize them for that. But I don't want to know any of the super secret leaks or super secret theories. I don't try and click on any of those articles or videos or anything like that. But all I know is I think they're talking about the Illuminati because we got Doctor Strange, we got a group of people who are holding secrets, and Professor X is involved, which kind of just points the finger straight at this group. So, was this an Illuminati review as much as it was a discussion about the MCU and the group in general? Yes and no. But I would say if you like this idea, you can definitely check out this trade paperback. Go seek it out, hunt it down, whatever you want. I think some of the stuff is collected in the New Avengers by Bendis trade paperbacks, the complete collections. But I think this is a pretty easy one to find, and especially in back issue bins or at a convention or something like that. It's a beautiful book, so it's definitely worth reading just for the artwork by itself. But Bendis and the dialogue makes it a whole lot of fun. Plus, it makes me want to go read Secret Invasion right away and go on from there, because the way that it's tied off with the beginning, the first issue with the Cree Scroll War, and the 5th issue with the Elektra Scroll here at the bottom here, it's just kind of a beautiful bow to wrap this entire series around as a precursor, a primer to Secret Invasion and Who Can You Trust. So that's my review of New Avengers Illuminati. Go check it out if you like beautiful artwork and fun secret groups. And we'll see you guys next time here in the Funny Pages.